I get it. Standing in front of a wall of TV ads and specs, you're wondering if that 77-inch OLED you just saw on a banner is really worth the cash, especially when it's a refurbished model. You don't want to splurge on something that looks amazing on paper but ends up being a disappointment in your living room, and you're probably thinking, will this size and technology actually improve my everyday watching, or am I just buying hype? The fear of buying the wrong thing is real, especially when you're juggling a budget and a desire for that cinematic feel. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, let's break down the LG OLED 77G4W G4 series, not by quoting a spec sheet, but by looking at what it means for you day to day. First off, this isn't a brand new unit, it's a certified refurbished model sold through Amazon's Renewed store. That label tells you the TV has been inspected, repaired where needed, and tested to meet original factory standards. For many shoppers, that's a decent compromise, getting a premium-size OLED for a lower price, but it also adds a layer of uncertainty. You're essentially betting that the refurbishment process has restored everything to like new condition, and you'll have to trust that the seller's warranty and return policy are solid. Who should consider this TV? If you already have a well-rounded home theater setup, or you're a cinephile who loves deep blacks and vibrant colors for movies and high-budget series, the 77-inch OLED screen will likely feel like an upgrade. The size alone makes a big impact. You'll notice details in dark scenes that a standard LED just can't reveal. Think of a Saturday night binge session of a noir thriller. Those subtle shadow gradients become more immersive with OLED's pixel-level dimming. Likewise, gamers with a console that supports 4K HDR will appreciate the fast response times and near-instant pixel switching, which reduces motion blur in fast-paced titles. If you're a casual viewer who mainly watches network TV, YouTube clips, or streaming services at a moderate volume, the benefits of an OLED start to feel less essential. A 77-inch panel can dominate a small room, making it harder to step back far enough to see the whole picture without moving your head. In a typical apartment living room, the size might overpower the space, leading to a less comfortable viewing angle. And because this is a refurbished unit, you might encounter minor cosmetic imperfections, tiny scratches, or faint blemishes that wouldn't be an issue for a hardcore enthusiast but could be a turnoff for someone wanting a pristine look. Now, onto practical strengths. The biggest win for an OLED of this size is the contrast ratio. In real terms, that translates to truly black shadows in a darkened room, which makes a big difference when watching movies at night. If you have a dedicated home cinema space where you can control lighting, the G4's ability to produce deep blacks will lift your picture quality without any extra calibration. Another advantage is the evo panel claim. LG markets this as a brighter version of their regular OLEDs. In a bright living room with large windows, you might still see a decent amount of glare, but the panel's higher peak brightness helps maintain HDR highlights without washing out colors. For anyone who uses the TV as a primary monitor for work or creative tasks, the broader color gamut and improved brightness can reduce eye strain compared to older OLEDs that struggled in well-lit spaces. On the flip side, the biggest practical weakness is the risk inherent in a refurbished product. While LG's refurbishment process is rigorous, a used unit could have a reduced lifespan for its organic light-emitting diodes. OLEDs naturally degrade over time, especially if they're driven at high brightness levels for many hours each day. In a household that streams movies all day or runs a gaming marathon, you could be accelerating that wear. The low overall rating, 2 out of 5 stars from 99 reviews, suggests a pattern of dissatisfaction that's worth noting. Even without detailed review snippets, a score that low often reflects issues like dead pixels, panel uniformity problems, or unreliable smart TV performance. Speaking of smart features, the G4 runs LG's WebOS platform, which is praised for its user-friendly interface and app selection. In practice, you'll find quick access to Netflix, Disney+, and other streaming services, plus the ability to cast from your phone. However, older OLED models sometimes suffer from slower firmware updates, meaning new apps or features might lag behind newer competitors. If you're a heavy user of niche streaming apps, you could encounter compatibility hiccups that require workarounds. Another hidden trade-off involves the audio setup. The TV's built-in speakers are decent for casual TV shows but fall short for a true cinematic experience. With a 77-inch panel, you'll likely want a soundbar or a full surround system to fill the room, adding extra cost that defeats some of the savings from buying a refurbished unit. This is not a unique problem to LG, but it's something you need to factor in when budgeting. Finally, let's